Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So in today's video, we are going to be doing MLM horror stories number 98. Oh my gosh, is it 98? It is 97. So welcome to MLM horror stories number 97. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day today. As you guys are seeing this video, I will be in Tampa, Florida, visiting with my girl Chelsea and Isabella, and I am so freaking excited. Today is Tuesday when I'm filming this, so in 2 days I will be on a flight, and then when y'all are watching this, I will literally be in Tampa. It's gonna be so much fun. Today we are going to be doing not a beach day, but a pool/beach day, because when you're watching this, it should be Friday. But anyways, that's not even the point of the video. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. Get your coffee ready. I've clearly got mine, and we're going to get into today's video. So we are going to be doing MLM horror stories number 97. So if you guys do not know how to send me in your MLM horror stories, I have that linked in the description down below. There's a description box down below. You just have to click on see more, and you will be able to see in my description where I explain what email to send it to, how to send it, and everything like that. I also do cover scam stories. So if you have been scammed specifically by an influencer or an online company or anything like that, I do also read those stories and put them in these MLM horror stories series. Also, don't mind my congestion. The Texas allergies in May are literally kicking my butt. I can't explain it. The amount of things I have done to try and help my allergies have not helped them. So I've been thinking about going to see an allergist. So don't mind my bits of congestion that I've got going on. So the first MLM horror story that we are going to read says, my boyfriend unintentionally involved me in an insurance MLM/pyramid scheme. She goes, hello Deanna, my name is Michaela and I don't mind if you use my first name. I've been watching you and a host of other anti-MLM content creators for a while now. Unfortunately, this MLM flew under my radar. It makes me embarrassed because I am totally quick to catch red flags and not be roped into something. I think this time I'm a bit desperate to get insurance and I didn't really listen to the red flags like normal. Also, I'm sorry if this is long, but it just happened this week, so I'm still kind of emotional about it. So to start this off, my boyfriend works hard at his job. He had told me one day that he had to be up the next morning for a Zoom call about union benefits. In my mind, it made sense. Well, then a couple days later, he told me I should expect a call from a so-and-so for insurance. I have to protect you, especially when you're so accident prone. This actually made me giggle and I was excited. Well, I received a call to set up the appointment via Zoom call the following day. I get into the call and the quote agent unquote had a weird vibe about them. Not only were they telling me all these love bombing things like, well, you're a hard worker. Your partner R even talks about how hard you work and he cares so much about you that you were the first person he wanted to extend his benefits to. And while I wasn't fully seeing these were red flags, I was still having weird feelings about them. Basically, I just wasn't connecting that it was love bombing. The insurance plan made sense and was a reasonable price for me. I didn't have any issues with the plan itself, but the agent kept phrasing, quote, isn't it nice that for any little visit into a clinic or emergency, we'll pay you X amount, unquote. Then he had asked me if I could name some other people close to me that I would like to extend these benefits to. I didn't off the top of my head. For the benefit monthly premium, he needed an account information to withdraw from. This was a huge mistake to give, but luckily I don't keep money in my checking account. I've already alerted my bank about this too. And he asked for my license number. I feel foolish for giving him this information, and had I known there was an insurance company, it wouldn't have even gotten this far. Well, after that call, I called my grandfather to let him know. Since my mom lives in a different state, I had no dad, and my grandma has passed away, my grandpa looks out for me. So I like to let him know about things like this. Even he had some doubts and suspicion about this situation. So the next day, we both went to look up the company, which, by the way, I did not even get the name of it until during our Zoom call. It was Globe Life/American Income Life. The website, while strange, didn't give me much to go off of. Typical though. I had seen a video from Illuminati about American Income Life, so I watched it. My head practically bursting as the video went along. I was panicking because they have my bank and license information. They don't have a good track record about things. I mean, it's an MLM, it goes with the business. I was panicking about how to bring it up to my boyfriend, my family, his family who also got roped into it like me, what to do about this situation. I also felt disappointment because I don't have any insurance, none of my jobs offer it. I can't even afford the cheapest I find either. I was looking forward to this newfound way for medical/life insurance coverage. I also felt ashamed for getting tricked into believing it, for not deciphering the red flags for what they were and giving my information away. I was able to move past my emotions to let my partner know, my grandfather know, my mother know, and to alert my bank. I am anticipating the first month premium and I wanted my bank to be able to stop it. They told me to try to get the agent to terminate my policy and not charge me. I haven't been able to get in touch with the agent yet. Luckily, I haven't had any charges from them yet either. Interestingly, the husband of a client of mine is a part-time insurance agent through an established actual insurance company, and he gave me some resources to file a complaint against the company through a state board. He was almost recruited by this company to be an agent, but he didn't get good vibes, so he declined. He's known others to get burned by the company, so he's upset at that. While many MLMs can impact one's health, I think something like insurance is on another level. It's hard to tell whether it's real or not because they'll tell you anything you need to hear. The idea of insurance being part of an MLM is a foreign concept. You have people desperate for medical/life insurance that make them vulnerable. Then a recurrent payment means people can end up out of a lot of money just being clients rather than being a recruiter/distributor/agent, being the one to lose the money monthly. I also think it's telling when a company has multiple aliases over the years. Feels like they are trying to evade lawsuits and being called a pyramid scheme. Also, I should have used common sense to put two and two together. I'm not married to my boyfriend and my boyfriend isn't actually paying into a union. I should have seen that and declined. Anyways, I needed to vent about this in a way that also spreads information about this company. I want more people to know so they don't make the mistakes I did. I will try to leave an update when there is one, but thank you for listening to me. Thanks for reading. So I definitely understand where this person is coming from, stating that, they felt like they should have seen the red flags and they kind of feel dumb for not seeing it. But that's the whole part of what MLM reps are trained to do. They are trained to hit all of your objections before they even come. They are trained on how to use your why and your situation in order to get you to sign up. That is what they are essentially trained to do. I also agree with her when she said that people who are in need of life insurance and medical care are in really vulnerable places. So it's extremely easy to be able to love bomb someone and really convince someone to join the MLM when you're selling a product that is like life insurance or medical insurance. So with that being said, you are not dumb for not seeing the signs or anything like that. I think that this is really common in MLMs. Again, they're trained to do that. So don't feel as if you are dumb because you didn't, see the signs or anything like that. It happens to so many more people than you would ever imagine. Okay, the next one is titled MLM Horror Story. It doesn't say, what company it's going to be, but it looks as if she has 3 different stories all in one. So it goes, "Hi Deanna, I found your channel through Isabella and Chelsea and I've been binging your MLM horror stories. Anytime any of you 3 post, it makes my day. Oh, I love that. Story number 1. When I was in high school, my boyfriend at the time worked for Cutco or Vector or whatever they're called. He came up to my house with what I assume now was his upline and tried to sell the knives to my mom and grandma. My grandma ended up buying a knife set because he definitely felt bad for him. Number 2, I've never joined an MLM, but I almost joined a Beachbody when I was in college. Thankfully, I was poor and never joined, but the girl who I had reached out to about it never stopped emailing me asking me to join. Mind you, this girl has stated that she was in the top 1% of the company and that her downline was huge. After finding anti-MLM content when she emailed me again, I actually sent her back videos about Beachbody and Arbonne since that's the MLM she decided to switch to. I checked her Instagram and noticed I was still following her, so I decided to watch her story. She was explaining, or rather not explaining, why she left Beachbody and switched to Arbonne. She mentioned to me that she was an open book, so I messaged her and asked her how she felt about being in an MLM. She blocked me and also managed to find and block my other 2 accounts, which aren't even connected to my main Instagram account, which I thought was a little weird. Story number 3. This was about those bomb parties on TikTok, which is something that I haven't even talked about on my channel yet because I'm just shocked by the bomb parties and the stuff that they're having on TikTok. A lot of scams are moving on to TikTok, or MLMs are moving on to TikTok. So thank you so much for bringing it up. Back to the story. They said, for some reason, I've gotten one of those bomb party invites after every other video. It's been crazy because as far as I know, in TikTok community guidelines, it says that promotion of MLMs or MLM products isn't allowed. Anyways, after I realized no matter how many times I clicked, I wasn't interested in that type of content, and I know I can just block them MLM, but my ADHD brain doesn't like all the steps that's involved with that, and it just won't let me. And it still keeps popping up, so I turned it into a game. I would join the live, say it's an MLM, and wait to see how long it would take them to block me. I'm sure there's more because I vaguely remember Tupperware parties when I was little, but these are the main ones. Thank you for reading. Keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. Best, a fellow Texas resident. So the TikTok thing is funny. You know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Try and say, hey, this is an MLM. Beware to individuals, and then see how long it takes someone to block you. So thank you so much for sending me your story. The next story I'm extremely interested in. So buckle up. It is about Elite Marketing Pro. It goes, hi, Deanna. Thank you for your content around MLMs. It's extremely helpful to see how toxic they are through other stories. You can call me S. Buckle up. This is a long one, and I hope it makes sense. It's late at night, and the only time I have that is uninterrupted to write this. A bit of background before I go into details about the company called Elite Marketing Pro. I was first introduced to Unique Makeup around 2015. There were a couple people I was friends with in high school or went to high school with asking me to host an online beauty bash. Because I struggled to say no, I ended up doing those parties a couple of times. No one really participated, which doesn't surprise me since I am a quiet person that kind of fades into the background. Anyway, they did ask me to join, but at the time I was hesitant and said I would think about it. During this time, I had had a miscarriage and then got pregnant again 3 months later with my oldest. Fast forward 8 to 10 months to 2016, I had him emergency C-section and was dealing with what I would say is postpartum OCD for checking on my baby every half hour to an hour throughout the night, being paranoid about SIDS. So I was feeling tired and frumpy because my body just wasn't the same. I never got diagnosed. One of my great friends, let's call her Kay, hosted a beauty bash and invited me to join. I ended up really having a lot of fun, and she decided she wanted to become a presenter and asked me how to join. Because I was struggling, I figured this would be a good way to make some money, and thinking I could have many people host parties and buy makeup and spend little to no time on working the business. And I'd be able to help my husband with making some money because medical bills were coming up. So I started and tried for a couple of months. One person bought through my link, and to stay active, I had to sell $125 every 3 months. So when I didn't hit that, I would buy more because my upline kept telling me to do it to stay active. My upline, we'll call her E, was very good at hyping us up and to keep going. Anyways, about a year into doing it, I knew I couldn't keep it up, so I went inactive. Then come Beachbody in 2017. This girl, we'll call her T, asked me to join a couple of those however many day workout challenges and to keep each other accountable. So I did that a couple of times with her throughout 2018. Literally, that's the year that I got started in Beachbody. And I got started in Beachbody because of this exact reason. Like, what ended up happening is someone, I think it was in like February, asked me to join a challenge. And I was like, no, thank you. And they were like, but it's free. And I was like, no, thank you. So in April, they reached back out to me. They were like, oh, well, this is free. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'll just do it. And then I ended up joining after doing that accountability group. Or the free accountability group. So this is definitely something that was happening a lot in 2018 that I was seeing. So I'm curious if it's still happening, if people are doing a lot of those free groups to try and rope you in. So I did that a couple of times with her throughout 2018. I had another baby that year, so again, I was pretty vulnerable. But in 2019 is when I decided to become a coach, even though I wasn't planning on selling, just doing the workouts and getting the Energizer and one of the Shakeologies. Side note, it was gross. I was somehow talked into trying to recruit others, which I wasn't very good at because I was intimidating about cold messaging, etc. I wasn't being successful, but I knew some people in my town that were having success in whatever their MLM was. They weren't cold messaging, and they never showed what company it was for. So I found their Facebook page and started seeking out whatever they were doing. I knew that they coached struggling MLMers, so I thought maybe I could make money for vacations and such if I were to follow what they were doing. Because they were, and still are, apparently making 6 figures. They shared their story about how they were struggling with their businesses and would go out of town to other towns to try to recruit people. So somehow they found out about Elite Marketing Pro, EMT for short, and started seeing success. I looked into the business and decided to give it a try. I guess selling myself and in a way calling out other struggling MLMers to give it a try. The company had coaches that were there to help you in every step of the way. So how this business works is they talk about funneling to recruit others to join the company, but also anyone who decides to have these coaches help you out with their business, you also earn commissions like an affiliate link for EMP. So EMP focuses just on recruiting and telling you to spend money on Facebook ads or other ads. They never give the name of the company when they post things. It is sketchy to say the least. I did that for a couple months and then got busy doing classes and taking care of my kids, so I didn't have time for anything else. I ended up finding some anti-MLM videos after some time and now see how shady these companies are, especially when they keep pushing you to keep going because you'll see success with it one day. I started to get rid of all things related to MLM subscriptions, etc., because I couldn't ignore the signs I see now because of information videos like yours. Now I'm earning my bachelor's degree in web design, and I stay home with my 3 kids who are now 7 years old, 4 years old, and 3 months. And I am in a lot better of a mental state than back then. I very much dislike how MLM companies prey on the vulnerable and gaslight you into thinking it's your fault when in reality it's the company's business model. Thank you for taking the time to read my story, and I hope it helps someone who comes across companies like EMP. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. That's a lot. I've never heard of Elite Marketing Pro, which is why I was excited to read this MLM horror story. So this is essentially an MLM that helps you recruit people. It is pretty much teaches you how to do an MLM. Isn't that crazy that an MLM made itself, like a CEO or a person said, I'm going to make an MLM that helps people in MLMs get up in the company. Like, I just think to the CEO, it was like genius because they're like, oh, there's a whole market in MLM reps. So why not just target those individuals and get them to join? And we see that a lot with MLM coaches like No Shame Sales Game. We see that with her subscription service. She makes over $1 million a year based on the amount of people that are in her 365-day membership. And that's beside what she does in her Young Living MLM, which I honestly don't see her promoting very often. So we can see that instead of that MLMer continuing in her MLM and trying to get to the top and make all this money, she was like, well, what if I just coach other people to do that? I just coach people how to be in an MLM and get up in it. And then that's how I can get a following and sell products and things like that and make a lot of money. So I think that this is a really common concept. I've just never seen it on the scale of that, like an MLM doing that. I've seen individual people do it, like individual MLM reps becoming MLM coaches and stuff like that. I've never seen like an individual MLM doing that, only like an individual person. So I found that pretty interesting. Let me know what y'all think about that MLM. Okay, so there is one more MLM horror story. I was debating like, should I read it? And it's a really long one for this one. But I was like, you know what? Why not? So this MLM horror story is going to be a Melaluca MLM horror story, and I'm going to read it from my computer because it is pretty long. Let's get into it. Hi, Deanna. I am so glad that you will be covering some of the lesser known MLM. I've been wanting to share my story for a while now. I have been in 2 MLMs, including Beachbody, which didn't make any money there. But today I wanted to share my experience with Melaluca, the company that says they're not an MLM. Yes, last week, a lot about Melaluca. Or not last week, last MLM horror stories, we talked a lot about Melaluca. So if you guys want to see us talking about that, go and check out the last MLM horror stories that I did. So let's continue. She says, I really thought it was a legitimate company. Like so many others, I was taken in by it and I was really at a low place in my life. Also, like so many others, I thought my upline was a friend. To begin, my husband had lost his job and we had moved in with my mother-in-law while we figured out our next step with 4 small children. You can imagine what that was like. One day while at church, this older lady approached me and asked if we could get together. I barely knew her, but looked up to her as she was one of the assistant pastor wives. She was engaging and very friendly. I desperately was looking for a mentor and was really excited that she showed interest in me. I met with her and we talked about normal stuff, and for the first time in a couple of years, I felt like someone really cared about what my family and I had gone through in the past 3 years up to that point. She asked me about income, and I told her that we were still trying to figure out what we were going to do for work. At the time, my husband was trying to start up as a self-employed contractor, so we had very limited income. Anyway, she said that she had a business, but couldn't tell me what it was until the next time we met because she didn't want to leave anything out. And I was like, okay, I cringe now. Anyway, we did meet later and I sat through the whole presentation on the company. Here are some details for you if you do a deep dive into Melaluca. They claim they are like Costco, a wholesale shopping club company. And when you refer people to shop it, it helps keep the prices and club membership down. Honestly, the cost to join their club is the lowest I've seen amongst MLMs. I believe at the time it was $15 normally, but they always run $1 specials. So you join, and at that point, they want you to make your first purchase immediately because they honestly do make commissions on the products they sell. So the bigger your order is, the more commissions that they will make. Also, of course, if you're a business builder, they make more. They also say that unlike MLMs, they don't do any recruiting. They just share about the shopping opportunity and then kind of decide based on the person if you should share about the business opportunity or not. Melaluca is also supposedly really stringent on how their market partners share about Melaluca, and they really frown on cold messages on Facebook or Instagram. They want you to cold call people on the phone instead and say to people, quote, "I just started working with the health and wellness company and I just want to share it with you. I don't have time to share everything, but I do have time to meet you for coffee in the daytime. Would that work for you?" End quote. And then they would share face-to-face using their booklet or PowerPoint. They also do parties, kind of like other MLMs. It's a very personal business, lots more time spent meeting with people and sharing. Also, the phone calls take up so much time. So I signed up as a business builder because we are in desperate need of income, and it didn't sound quite the same as Beachbody. So I try my best. I create the hundreds list for my warm market. So as you guys who don't know, the hundreds list when you join an MLM is you join and then your upline will ask you, okay, now you're going to make a list of 100 people that you know, friends, family, acquaintances that you can reach out to and try and recruit into the MLM. So that's kind of what she's talking about. So she said, I created the hundreds list for my warm market and I felt so scummy. I do get some people to sign up and I do get a few paychecks with barely covering my monthly purchase for the company, which by the way is a minimum of $50. Side note, everyone, whether or not they become a business partner, has to spend a minimum of $50 every month. However, unlike other MLMs, a person can make a one-time purchase at the end of the presentation without signing up. Anyways, back to the story. Looking back, I totally hate it. Anyway, I jump in on the team calls. To her created, my upline was very involved and trained me. The first couple of overviews, she came with me and even did them for me to show me how to do a presentation. Then she had me do a couple. Honestly, at first I wasn't that bad. I did feel scummy, but I also felt connected and like I had a group of people that cared about me and what I was going through. Also, I went with my upline and another gal on our team to a business event at the company's headquarters in Idaho, which by the way is a beautiful building with state-of-the-art everything. I believe they have a product testing / development on site as well, and an ex-Disney chef working at their cafe. Anyways, we do the tour and the next day is the training. It was everything you see on the other conference videos from other MLM. You have loud music, trainings, awards, etc. One thing that may be different is the free samples they give of their products, and I am sure if that is something other MLMs do. In all appearances, they try to do as many things different as they can from other MLMs. Fast forward about 4 months and I have had enough. My upline is trying to encourage me to take classes, to meet people, so that I can share about Melaluca. It did end up giving me the courage to sign up for taking an EMT class, which is something I always wanted to do, but never talking to anyone about Melaluca while I was in the class. I just couldn't believe that she kept encouraging me to make friends in order to use them. I graduate from the EMT class and it ends up being my out. I never again looked back at Melaluca. I am sure I lost money and felt totally foolish for reaching out to people about it. I'm still an EMT and will never join an MLM thanks to the anti-MLM community. Oh, that's awesome. Well, you know what? I am so happy for you. So you know what? Something good came out of all of that. One last thing I wanted to share was during this whole thing, our second youngest was given a diagnosis of juvenile arthritis, which required us to travel frequently 8 hours away from home in an unpredictable vehicle for tests, appointments, etc. We also moved into a rental and my husband was struggling with depression. So yeah, classic situation for being taken in by an MLM. The good news is that now the arthritis has been in remission for over a year now. We own a house. My husband's business is becoming very successful and he is no longer struggling with depression. Bad news is that my upline is still involved with Melaluca and still tries to get me back into the business. I ignore her calls. I really wish I could just be friends with this lady because we really hit it off when she was my upline. Even then, I got the sense that the only reason she cared or talked to me was because she wanted me to succeed in the business. if you have any questions while you're doing your deep dive into Melaluca, don't be afraid to ask. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much for sending me that. I am so glad that you are an EMT, your husband's business is going, and your child is doing okay. And I think that at the end of the day, whether you join an MLM or not, I think afterwards you learn a lot about yourself. And a lot of times it could kind of lead you into doing what you want to do. So the person that she was in the MLM with kind of pushed her to take the CMT class, and look at where she is now. So I think that everything in life I kind of just say is a learning lesson, especially MLMs. For me, it was like the biggest learning lesson of my entire existence, especially because I joined at such a young age. I joined the MLM at 19. And trust me, when I was 19, I was dumb and didn't understand life, didn't comprehend anything about life yet. And I feel like, or was I 20? Anyways, 19, 20, 21 are years of growth and stuff like that. So I know for me, it made me grow up a lot, kind of like getting out of it and learning. It made me learn a lot about myself. So I feel like for you, you were able to get out and you were able to become an EMT, and everything is going really well for you now. I also understand where she says that she thinks it's difficult to still be friends with the upline because of the way she's reaching out, still wants her to be in the MLM and things like that, but she hit it off with this person. I think that this happens a lot is people in MLMs tie every relationship that they have with trying to recruit someone, and they can't really decipher, okay, this is a real friendship I have, and this is not the person I should be trying to recruit into my MLM, but instead they kind of see every person as a way to recruit someone. So every person that's in your life, they kind of try and recruit. So I can definitely see why this person doesn't want to answer the calls or the messages, because they kind of just know that this person is going to try and recruit them back into the MLM and they just don't want to deal with it. So I totally get that. I feel like it's really common. Anyways though, how are y'all doing? That will be the end of today's video. Again, if you would like to send me your MLM horror story, don't forget to do that. Also, if you would like to stay updated on my Tampa trip and everything like that, go over to my Instagram. I will link it down below. I also link it in all of my videos, but I do upload stories every single day. So when I'm not uploading on YouTube, or maybe I'm doing something, or when I do upload on YouTube, every time I post on my Instagram stories a link to the video and I announce that I just uploaded a video. And then when I'm on trips, I also post all of my stuff over there. So if you guys would like to stay updated with my trip, that is where you could do that. But anyways, I have about 30 minutes before I need to head out. I'm gonna go get my eyebrows done since I'm going on my trip in 2 days. Gonna chug this coffee, gonna take my allergy meds. I forgot I did not take them yet to hopefully help this congestion out. And if you are a Texan and you have any tips for how terrible allergies are in this state, help a girl out. I already take Zyrtec and all of that, but if there's anything else I can do, please let me know. Girl needs help. Anyways, if you have made it this far in the video, what emoji do we want to do today? What emoji? Leave the sunglasses emoji in the description down below. Little black sunglasses. Those are so cute. Anyways, leave that down below if you've made it this far, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. That was better. I literally almost deleted all of the freaking, I'm stupid. I almost deleted all of the emails I was about to read. Oh my God, I would have panicked about how hot, I keep getting tongue twisted. Get it together. So I mentioned, it starts off with saying, "Hi Deanna, I am so glad that you will be coming." You will be coming? No. At the time, my husband was started. Here are some details for I wonder if you, no.